Hello people, in this video we want to look at herd immunity. What is herd and what is immunity? So herd is a group of animals, that's what is herd, but herd can also mean a group of human beings. Immunity is where you can recognize what is yours and what is foreign and fight and reject the foreign or non-self substance, right? So that is herd immunity. No, that is herd and that is immunity. So what is herd immunity? So herd immunity basically is a level of resistance to a particular disease. Okay. So what is it? It's a level of resistance to a particular disease. Whose level of resistance? Level of resistance of the community. Okay. Of the community or the group of people to a particular disease. That is the herd immunity. Great. So you got what herd immunity is. So it's the level of resistance to a particular disease. It's the level of resistance of the community or a group of people to the particular disease. It's also freedom from infection. Why? Because of the virtue of the herd structure, there is not going to be transmission among the individuals. So herd structure is not a constant. Herd structure is not a constant. Remember, herd structure can change. So based on the virtue of the influence of the herd structure on the transmission among individuals, there is freedom from infection. It basically forms an immunological barrier. So did you get what herd immunity is, guys? Okay. So what will make this herd immune, right? Let us see the determinants of herd immunity. The structure of the population, the age, sex, etc. Previous exposure of the herd to the disease, right? So if previously they were exposed, then they are probably immune. Stability of this herd with respect to immigration and emigration. So basically, let's go. Structure of the herd should be in such a way that it can maintain immunity. Then previous exposure. So maybe this herd is exposed, so this is immune. But another herd is not exposed to some disease, so it is not immune. Is it going above your head? Guys, do you know there is one island in India in which there is nobody allowed and people are living all by themselves like tribals. The tribals are living there, right? So these people have no immunity to what we have, right? The diseases that we are exposed to in the modern world, we have some kind of immunity, but these people do not have that. That's why the government doesn't allow us to go near these people. That is a sentinelese, right? So we are not allowed to go there because these people do not have the immunity. We have some kind of herd immunity. They don't have. Probably they have some kind of immunity to some other disease which we don't have. Probably we can contract those diseases from them. So previous exposure. So these are the determinants. What are the determinants of herd immunity? The structure. Very good. Structure can also mean the age, gender, etc. Right? Previous exposure. Then what did you see? Stability. Stability means there should be no migration, right? Immigration, emigration. There should be no people moving in and out. So if you are in a group which has already been immune to it, you probably will have the herd immunity. Then, environment factors also will affect. Environmental factors may also help in this herd immunity. Like people living in a certain area may not get a certain disease because it could be an environmental factor there. So that herd could be immune. So, artificial immunity in individuals in the herd. Artificial immunity, how did they get? Via vaccination? Could be. Okay. So that is what is artificial immunity. So did you get it? It's not when suddenly you think about herd immunity, you will think that it is about vaccinations and polio vaccine, oral polio vaccine, etc. It's not just that, guys. It is that a particular group of people can be immune to a certain number of diseases because of a lot of other determinants. Okay. Then let us go to changes in herd immunity. What are the changes? Basically, they are saying herd immunity can increase or decrease. Okay. Herd immunity can increase or decrease. What will increase herd immunity? So people who are susceptible move out. Susceptible move out. Okay. Then death of susceptible. The susceptible people will die. Only healthy people who can fight the disease are alive probably. Artificial acquisition of immunity. That is vaccine. So they are vaccinated, so their immunity increases. Subclinical infection. So they have some kind of subclinical infection that is increasing their immunity. Okay. Then what decreases immunity? What can decrease herd immunity? So there is immigration of susceptibles. That is, some people come in. Susceptibles come in to the group, right? Then there is a birth, right? Here they are putting death, and that too of a susceptible. Here they are putting birth. Birth they are considering is a susceptible person. So did you get it? So this is decrease. So the changes you will have to mention are increase and decrease. So did you get it, guys? Why herd immunity will increase or decrease? Now last slide we have here is the significance. What is the significance of herd immunity? If herd immunity is very high, the occurrence of disease will be very low. Yes, we get that. If the herd immunity is maintained, the disease eradication can be obtained. Very good. So we can go through all those phases that we want to go through. Control, eliminate, eradicate a disease, right? So you will say that incidences will be less, right, of the disease. You can go from control of disease to eliminate the disease to finally even probably eradicate the disease, right? This is possible. Example, you have polio, right? Polio has been eliminated in India. Type 1 is still there. Type 2 and type 3 polio viruses have been eradicated from the world. Okay. Then diphtheria. All these by vaccination, etc. You can achieve herd immunity. What about tetanus? Tetanus does not have herd immunity. Okay. See, oral polio vaccine gives herd immunity. This is something. Oral polio vaccine gives herd immunity. But what is IPV? That is inactivated polio vaccine does not give herd immunity. Okay. So did you get this? So which are the things that won't give you herd immunity? These two. Okay. Look at this. So here they are showing you oral polio vaccine. Here they are showing you injectable. Right. Do you see any information here on herd immunity? In the oral one, duration of protection is long lasting. Herd immunity. Yeah, it's there here. See here. Let's mark it in yellow or something. Herd immunity provided due to fecal-oral spread of vaccine virus. Okay, vaccine virus. What is this vaccine virus? So basically, where is this going and sitting? Guys, let's just zoom this. Just try to understand what we are seeing here. See here? Herd immunity is provided by oral polio vaccine provided due to fecal-oral spread of vaccine virus. The vaccine virus is going to spread by fecal-oral route. So the entire community becomes herd immunity. What is this? Wow. In recent days, this herd immunity has become very significant because of COVID, right? So write that mainly. Because of COVID-19 disease, they want to achieve herd immunity, right? How will they achieve it? Look at these news on herd immunity. Just search herd immunity, you'll get a lot of it in the news, right? See this. Despite herd immunity, they are battling the second wave. Delhi passed 50%, near herd immunity they have. Will COVID-19 vaccine achieve herd immunity? Unlikely herd immunity in 2021. Is India moving towards herd immunity? So much of news about herd immunity. Okay, this is the recent significance. Okay. So let us see what we saw in this video. Herd immunity. Basically, herd is nothing but a group of people, a group of animals, etc. Immunity is a capacity of any living organism to know what is its own and what is foreign and fight the foreign one. So basically, herd immunity is, how will you define herd immunity? It's the level of resistance of the community or group of people to a particular disease as the freedom from infection within the herd by the sole virtue of the herd structure, which is not constant, or, on the transmission amongst individuals. This is an immunological barrier. The determinants are the structure of the herd, the age, the sex, etc., previous exposure of this herd to the disease, stability, there is no migration, etc., or death. Death is fine, but birth is going to be a problem, right? Environmental factors also can give a herd immunity. Artificial immunity, like vaccines. See, when it comes to herd immunity, you can talk about time, place, person distribution also. What do you say? Because some things are there in a particular place. So that could be an environment. Some things could be in particular age of people. So that again could mean what is it? A determinant for the herd immunity. Did it just go above your head? Okay. Let's move on. What are the changes that can happen in herd immunity? The herd immunity can increase or decrease. It can increase because some susceptible people move out, so they become more strong now. Death of susceptible, so they are becoming strong now. Vaccines can make them strong. Subclinical infection can also make them strong, looks like. Decrease can happen if any susceptible person comes into your group or if there's a birth. Okay. Then what's the significance of herd immunity? The incidence of the disease will be less. There will be control. You can go from control to eliminate to eradicate a particular disease. Example, polio, diphtheria, etc. Oral polio vaccine gives herd immunity due to the fecal-oral route of the vaccine virus. Fecal-oral route of spread of the vaccine virus. So that is really strange and scary. The vaccine virus spreads via fecal-oral route to other people and it gives immunity to the other person, is it? COVID-19, guys, that's the recent significance. They want to achieve herd immunity either by vaccination or if people are getting the disease, then hopefully we can get the herd immunity. IPV, inactivated polio vaccine, does not give herd immunity. Tetanus also does not have herd immunity. That's it in this video on herd immunity. Bye-bye.